We watch a lot of really bad movies.
Almost weekly, yeah.
Yeah, almost weekly.
Pretty much every week we hang
Last
out.
night we saw Morbius for the first time ever.
Which kind of broke the trend of watching bad movies.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the I like the Morbius part.
Yeah.
And,
I like how he said it's not about how hard you morb, it's about how hard you're morbing.
Yeah, exactly. I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I actually thought it harder than you did.
Well, I don't know about that.
And I thought overall,
I think I laughed more than you over the course of the hour and 40 minutes.
So my problem with the movie was that there wasn't enough of it, but also
Right.
the fact that it felt pointless.
Yeah.
Because like my thing with it was like it was a completely competent movie. Like
As in, yeah.
okay, I wouldn't say completely competent. I'd say like how it was shot.
Yeah.
And just
some of the effects
the
were
fact
cool.
it was a movie that
It was a movie, you're
had
right.
I think a beginning, middle, and end, but it just kind of felt
Technically.
like okay. I'm just trying to say it wasn't like wow, this is a train wreck. It's more so
Yeah.
wow, why does this exist?
The first hour actually went by very fast, I'd say.
Yeah, but
For
it's
better
just
or
like I
worse,
look
it
back
went
at it and I'm
by.
like, why? What did I just watch? Like it
Not
was just
much happened
pointless.
in it, but it went by pretty quick, I feel like.
That's the thing because like it's not like it was mediocre.
It's just kinda lame.
It was fine. Yeah, it was just fine.
Yeah.
But it's just like everything about that movie could have been just summed up in like a 5-minute like they could have had this Morbius guy as like a villain in a Spider-Man movie and just been like
and every once in a while just cut
bam.
away, show
yeah,
like a little,
just like here's what he was doing this entire time.
This is why I'm bad.
And it was just okay. 5-minute whatever of his origin story.
Barely. Not
Because
even
like
almost.
this entire movie was literally like, I guess his origin story, but it was like nothing really comes full circle. They don't really show much about like, okay, why should you care about his relationships, his friendships, and why when people like stab him in the back or like go against him or anything like that, why does that affect? How could that affect like the viewer? How could that affect him?
The
like
morals
it's just,
are
like,
pretty shaky on what he's like trying to accomplish. Like he's trying to cure his disease that he
yeah.
has, which is like crippling him. And he finds out like, oh, if I drink this blood or whatever, this artificial blood, it like makes me strong again. It saves me. But then it wears off after like 6 hours. Then he runs out of time, and it's like he has to figure out a way to do it. He's like, do I want to drink real blood or do I want to drink all this other blood? And he's like, I don't know what to do.
Is there any story or reason as to like why that should be like, wow, this is a big deal?
What, like the blood?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty
Other than
impressive.
he needs it.
It's pretty like impressive, like technologically. Like he
Guess, but
solved
why is that
it.
impressive to me? The movie's
know.
fictional.
Are you not impressed?
Unfortunately, it's fictional, but
For now.
yeah. But it's just like I'm like, damn, that's great. Good
Yeah.
for him. Like why?
Yeah.
Like, why do I care?
Yeah, then Milo just kind of like wants the blood. don't know
I
why.
noticed too.
Yeah,
I
he
noticed
just
that
just
too.
kind of like takes it at some point. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm bad now. I'm a bad man who's a vampire
Yeah, and Morbius
for
is
some reason.
a fine man who's a vampire, maybe.
Yeah, well, he kills people at first, but then he's like, ooh, shouldn't have done that.
But isn't he supposed to be a villain? You see, why
That's
are
for
people
Morbius
saying
2 to
this movie
answer.
is bad? Because it's actually making us discuss morality?
Yeah.
You see?
The box office don't lie.
Well, either way, we watch our bad movies, and that was the latest one. So what would you say is I do have a list of most of the movies that we've seen.
Yeah. Which is
over a
extensive.
period of like 3 years.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them here.
Some of them are more memorable than others.
It keeps going.
Yeah.
And overall, so what would you say is the most memorable bad movie that you've seen off the top of your head, or just some of them?
Yeah. A lot of them do kind of blend together. I don't have a full, this is the worst ever.
Well, right here, the first one on the list is Between Worlds.
That was the Brenda Song one, right?
No.
Okay.
That's Nick Cage fucking a mom
Oh,
and her daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was entertaining at least. I can't remember anything that happened in it, but that was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, the next on the list is Good Burger, where Nicolas Cage fucks a mom and her daughter.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, Secret Obsession, it's the same damn movie as Good
Secret
Burger.
Obsession,
So.
that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, and then the Bye Bye Man. You don't think it, don't say it. Don't think it, don't say it.
Okay.
Remember that guy?
I do now. Yeah.
Yeah. Belle and the Bulldogs. That's not a movie.
That's not a movie.
It's a show.
That's a show. That's a
Seen a couple
Nickelodeon
of
show.
It's a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah. With Ace
where-
McFumbles.
Ace
Remember him?
McFumbles.
Yeah.
It's
It's a kid with
the
a
first-
mustache who
it's-
plays the news anchor.
Yeah, it's the first time it's the first time the girl in the county or something can play football.
Yeah.
I don't know. The girl is playing football with the guys, and
Yeah.
and
It's a
most
big deal.
Most of the show, that is the only deal.
Yeah.
and it's just like the most of the entire conflict is like, oh, girls playing football.
Yeah.
and then like
But she's a girl.
the season finale. The season finale is
Season
they
one.
find out it's illegal for girls to play football.
Because it's Texas, baby.
Yeah, so they're just like they're going to the
game.
big game.
Yeah, the big dance.
The big game.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, Bella is their star player. So then the competing team is like, oh, we gotta look into like the
laws.
old laws.
Yeah.
And then it said the laws are basically like girls can't play football. And it just like it felt like the show was building up to that moment.
Yeah.
Even though every episode is pretty much that moment, they're like, girls can't play football.
Right.
But Bella can.
There was like a couple other scenes, but yeah, it's basically just that.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's pretty much that show. Next up is The Nut Job. I don't remember. That was the movie. So that movie, there was a rat.
That's
in the movie.
okay, that's all I have to say about it.
There was a rat in the movie.
That's all I had to add about it. So.
And I think during the movie, I was like, there should be a counter on screen. There should be a countdown on screen whenever
Until the next rat appearance.
Until the next rat. So it's just like 3, 2, 1, rat! 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, rat! And then it's just like whenever it cuts to the next shot with the rat in
Yeah.
the shot. Other than that, I don't remember a damn thing about that movie.
No.
Amy, AMI.
Was that another AI one?
Yeah, it was like Siri. Siri on the phone was a little weird.
Oh yeah, that was pretty lame.
There was like a jock, wasn't there? There was like some jock guy. Well, the next on the list is Hop.
Was that where the guy became the Easter
All
Bunny?
right, that movie pissed me off.
Was that the one where he became the Easter Bunny, and they said he became the Easter Bunny at the start of the movie?
Yeah,
And that was the whole point of the movie?
I fucking hated that movie, mainly just because, like, at the beginning, there is no reason why they need to spoil the movie. And, like, I didn't care if the movie got spoiled, but I was literally like, why did he... Like, the beginning of the movie, like, James Marsden is narrating. He's like, yep, that's right. I became the world's first human Easter Bunny.
And then it's just
And
him
I'm like,
becoming it.
what the f***?
And then it's just him becoming it for like an hour and a half.
I'm like, you just ruined the ending for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, you could just start without that.
That's all I remember about that one.
You know, the camera's panning
Yeah.
between, like,
It's like the
paintings.
Easter Bunny headquarters.
Yeah, and he's
And it's
just
like the hanging
yep,
of all the-
that's me.
all the bunnies.
The world's first human Easter
Yeah.
bunny. You might be wondering how I got in this predicament. Well, it all started, and then they show, like, whatever, Easter Island, where the bunnies are.
Yep.
And I'm just like, you could have just started there.
Yeah.
Why do you have to start here? Like, I'm like, yeah, now I'm gonna know that this guy changes his ways and
Yeah.
decides, you know what, I like Easter.
Yeah, 'cause that just
I don't
kinda
even
builds
remember
up
what his
to,
problem was. He might be like a Scrooge about Easter.
I guess,
And
for
then
some
Russell,
reason, like...
the Russell Brand rabbit is just like,
I forgot his first
like,
name.
man, you gotta
Come on, man.
Easter's pretty great.
Give it a chance.
I don't know. I think he like was having a like he didn't want to be the Easter Bunny. That was the thing.
Why did he have to become the Easter Bunny?
Because his dad was.
If his dad was the Easter Bunny, like how is James Marsden the first human Easter Bunny?
You see, that's a problem. We're reviewing this movie 2 years after seeing
Yeah.
it, and I forget it. But
Right.
next on the movie is Jinxed.
Was that Helvetica Black?
No,
that
Helvetica
Shorts?
Black was from Shorts.
Okay.
Jinxed was the
Was
the
that
only
like a
thing I
short
remember.
story?
The only thing I remember about that movie was like at the very end. So like the entire movie is like this family is like kind of cursed to be unlucky.
Yeah,
like
that's it.
they have bad luck.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire movie they say like, I forgot rule number 7, always wear open-toed shoes.
So you don't get
I
cursed
know.
or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and then at the very end they say, hey, you almost forgot rule 34. Like,
That's like, don't forget Rule 34.
like
and
just
just
don't
walks
forget
away.
it. Don't forget it.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Arctic dogs.
Was that the polar bear looking at the camera?
Yeah, Alec Baldwin.
like following polar bear. Not just
There's just a polar bear in that movie, and all we really thought about was like, wouldn't it be funny if that polar bear just was randomly looking directly at the camera for a couple shots? Like, you know, it was pretty much like, and he's only in the background. Like, you know, imagine like this polar bear is just in the background, and like there's something else happening in the foreground. You know, like the main characters are talking, and you just see the polar bear just like. like
Deadpan
blank
the camera,
blank
just-
stare, just looking at the camera. It's just like kind of like a bad actor or something. Like, you know, he's just like, oh.
And an animated polar bear. Just...
Yeah, they could have animated him to not be like that. And then we have Radio Rebel.
Oh, that was good. That was fun.
That was pretty
That
good.
was a fun watch.
That was fine.
Yeah.
I don't have any
I
problems
think
with
the
Radio
main
Rebel.
bit there was just we were talking about how she would give away her cover in a funny way.
Yeah.
Like she just give it away, like because she was like trying to be secret about who Radio Rebel is. Like, oh, it's me.
Yeah.
But I think our whole joke was like she just says it.
Yeah.
Like, that was
She's just
that
like,
was it. That was
who
the
is
takeaway.
Radio Rebel?
It's like, I'm
It's
Radio
just
Rebel.
like,
Damn it.
Oh, damn it.
Damn it.
Polaroid. I don't remember a damn thing about that movie. Other
Is
than
that
it's
really
a camera
like-
that killed people.
Oh yeah.
Take a picture of somebody and they die.
Right.
That's
yeah.
all I remember about that movie.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything about that besides that.
The Last Airbender.
That was ass.
Yeah,
That was ass.
That was ass in a Morbius way.
Kind of.
Outside of like, I think it was definitely more incompetent.
Yeah.
But Morbius was just kind of like ass, and like plot was unnecessary, acting was subpar.
Yeah.
Everything was just really like bleh about it. The Last Airbender was kind of like that, but worse, like
Right.
more egregious.
Yeah, they couldn't even get Aang's name right.
And like the CGI was just kind of like.
Yeah. The rock slowly floating.
Yeah,
scene,
where it's just like it's like if this was like an indie movie, fine. But it's
Yeah.
just like when this is like a 150 million whatever blockbuster kind of thing, you know, it's kind of like, all right, man.
It's
you know,
pretty.
It's,
It's
just
pretty
like,
rough.
whatever.
Compared to it's what it's from.
We have Death Note. That was in our stint of like
Yeah.
watching Eric's favorite animes as movies,
Right.
That we have not seen, but you've seen Death Note.
Now
since
I
then.
have. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't see it
still
at the
haven't.
time.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Death Note.
I
so-
saw the movie first and then the series, which
Yeah.
is probably the wrong order.
Well,
You
I
probably should see the series and not the movie at all.
The only thing I really remember from Death Note was the fact that one of the Naked Brothers band members was like the guy. It was Nat Wolf.
Okay.
That guy.
Yeah.
He was a naked brother.
I know the Naked Brothers. I couldn't pick him out of a crowd.
I couldn't either, but I remember seeing like the credits. I'm like, wasn't that the name of like one of the Naked Brothers guys? And it sure enough was.
Huh.
And I don't remember anything. I don't remember what made that movie bad.
Yeah. Again, I
I just
saw
remember it
before,
wasn't
so-
good. I don't remember what made it bad.
Yeah.
So it's just.
I
like,
liked the series. I don't remember what I felt about the movie. So.
What about shorts? What do you like about shorts?
There's a song where the character Helvetica Black is
Yeah.
in the movie.
And
It's
it's
this
a
like
font.
kind of emo like
Yeah.
teenage girl.
Helvetica,
Helvetica,
Helvetica Black.
And that kind of bopped. So.
And I forget everything else about that movie.
Yeah, nothing else mattered.
No, Helvetica Black's dad like loses his ears or something, or gets big ears. There's something about that in
Something
there.
about his ears.
If you liked shorts, you'd remember.
I like shorts. I like the song.
Yeah. What about Woody Woodpecker?
That was like the first one we ever saw, right?
Yeah.
That was like the first one.
Pretty bad, right?
Honestly, no, it was pretty good. We got a lot of mileage out of that one.
Yeah, exactly. That was a
started
trick
it all.
question. That was a trick
Okay,
question.
okay.
Moving on to The Room. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
It was pretty good.
yeah.
I liked The
I enjoyed
Room.
it.
I didn't see it for the longest time. I watched like The Disaster Artist before it.
Yeah.
And then
lot
I
of
mean I
characters,
knew all
obviously.
about The Room. Like
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
like reviews of it and like
Yeah.
whatever.
I'd seen
like
enough to know what it
abridged
was.
versions.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen like shortened versions of it.
Yeah.
But this was my first
full
this
on.
was my first rodeo.
Yeah.
And gotta say, I was impressed. A lot more Tommy was so ass than I was
A
expecting.
lot of Tommy was so I was about to say
There was a lot of sex scenes
I was
that I didn't know about.
I was about to say that.
in the
Yeah, a lot
movie,
of
so
sex scenes.
interesting.
Yeah, the flower shop scene
definitely.
is pretty iconic.
Hi.
Can I help you?
Yeah, can I have a dozen red roses, please?
Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't know it was you. Here you go.
That's me. How much is it?
It'll be $18.
Here you go. Keep the change. Hi, doggy.
You're my favorite customer.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
That was one of the top ones for me personally.
Yeah.
Unaccompanied minors. I think we watched just for the title alone,
Right.
and they're like it was.
That was just the kids like trapped in the airport or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was it. There wasn't much else to it.
Yeah, it was like the Breakfast Club, but in an airport and not.
Yeah,
good.
I think we were like, oh, this movie should be crazy. Listen to that title, Unaccompanied Minors.
Right. It sounds like it's gonna be
What
pretty.
movie is that? And
yeah.
we watched it, and then it was like a perfectly serviceable like early 2000s kids movie.
Yeah.
We're like, okay. And those are the worst ones because like
Yeah.
next up was like Get Santa, which was like. That was another one. I think that wasn't really a completely competent movie. It was just really boring.
Yeah, I don't think we got past 30 minutes of that one.
Yeah, which
That's
that
like
was,
the one movie on this list we didn't watch in full.
Yeah, that was like one of the only few movies that we stopped watching.
Yeah.
We stopped watching Furry Vengeance.
Well, that was
halfway
because
through.
of the movie though.
Well,
The movie was good.
I was getting a little sick. I was a
Yeah.
little sick that day, so I was like, I can't do
Get
it.
Santa, we just like we
and
can't.
I went
be
to
bothered.
bed weeping that night because I was like, I don't know what happens
How
at
does
the
it
end.
end? Still haven't finished it, by the way.
I didn't know.
We still haven't finished it.
Yeah, so
That was like a year ago.
I think we even picked it back up where we left off, and we still only got 10 more minutes in. And I'm like,
Eric's like, I gotta go, guys.
yeah. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I just know Brendan Fraser was getting f***ed over by some raccoons.
Ken Jeong was on a plane.
Yeah.
He didn't
And
leave the
Angela
plane.
from The Office was with him.
Yep.
And Brendan Fraser got f***ed over by some more raccoons.
Yeah.
And then Ken Jeong was on a plane again. And then Brendan Fraser, it was a cycle. Like, I don't really remember. And like, I don't know. I think he's gonna learn to go the way of the raccoon.
Right. Yeah.
Like he's gonna learn to
Be a
play
man.
with the raccoons.
He'll be
instead
one
of
with
play against
nature.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
That
watch.
wasn't even a movie.
Yeah.
That was just literally like, this is just like
His retelling of Bible stories.
yeah, and it was like positioned in a way of like a movie where it's just like Kirk Cameron got in a car with like
Yeah.
like it was very
Some-
strange because it was like, you know, it was very much like one of the Christian movies that's like specifically just like
Propaganda.
yeah, a little propaganda.
Yeah.
Which is like you can make like a fine Christian movie
Yeah.
that's just like, oh,
This is what's going on. Yeah.
this is why, you
This
know,
is our
this
stories.
is our stories, and this
Yeah.
is why you should be a good person.
But this one was-
this one was more so just straight up like just in the stupidest way possible, where they just like Kirk Cameron's brother-in-law isn't
Doesn't-
feeling the Christmas season.
Doesn't believe.
No, it's not that he doesn't believe. He's just not feeling the Christmas season. He's just like, I'm really stressed out right now, which is fair. You know, Christmas is a stressful time.
Lots to do.
And then
lot to worry
Kirk Cameron
about.
gets on a car with him and just in park, you know, in the parking lot,
Just outside the Christmas
and it's just
party.
like, well, listen, I understand Christmas is stressful, but this is the story of Jesus Christ. And he just
Get
goes
over
on about
yourself.
that for like 30 minutes. And I'm just like, that should make him more stressed out. I mean, this is what Jesus had to go through. F*** off. and like after he just tells the story of Jesus Christ, which has nothing to do with like why his brother-in-law is stressed out. He's just kind of stressed out about the
Obviously,
season.
yeah.
And then he's just like, oh, I never thought of it that way, Kirk. Thank you. I love Christmas now. And then at the end, he does a breakdance.
There's a breakdancing at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, like, I liked Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas. I thought that was a
Uh huh.
that was one of the top ones for me.
Really?
Outside of like the Bible retelling scenes, because those are a little slow.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like, I was like, I can get behind
There wasn't
this.
a whole lot outside of that though.
I know,
Okay.
but I like those scenes.
Okay, clearly.
He broke dance at the
Clearly,
end.
he did. He did.
The Cat in the Hat. That was really
oh,
that was great.
great.
Yeah,
That was so good.
The main scene I really, really liked, and that one was literally like just like whatever. Alec Baldwin comes in the house and he's just like he sneezes. He's like, "Why am I sneezing?" Because he's allergic to cats. And then there's this really tense scene where Mike Myers' cat taps on his shoulders, and then the camera pans around and sees Mike Myers' cat face. Just kind of like looking at him.
Yeah.
That's all I like. That's the main part I like about.
That's
that
a good
movie.
bad movie though.
That's a good.
That's a
I
good
think,
bad movie
I think
watch.
that movie gets too much hate. Like overall, like it's not great, but I think
Yeah.
like when you look at like, all right, what they had to work with, like they had to turn that book into a 90-minute movie. I think they did a decent job.
They
at
stretched it. Yeah, they stretched it to work.
Well, I think they did a pretty decent job at it. I
Yeah.
don't think it was like, oh, this is a great movie, but like I think like for what it's worth, I think like I can't imagine like people going into that movie being like, I love the Cat in the Hat.
What is
And then-
this?
yeah, I'm like.
What did they just show me?
Like, it's pretty much the Cat in the Hat, but with a bunch of like added
Yeah.
into like the main plot, like between the main plot points.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like
It's just
adult
Mike Myers being a
innuendos.
dipshit for 90
Yeah.
minutes, kind of.
Yeah, and there's a lot of adult innuendos, but it's just like
Right.
I think they did a serviceable job taking that book and turning it into a movie.
Yeah. It
I
was
was not-
definitely interesting.
Like I don't understand how people could look at that and be like, God, that was a boring movie.
Yeah.
Like
it's
I'm
not
just
a
like.
slog, yeah.
Like I'm just like I feel like you can definitely get a bit out of that movie if you're just watching and you're like I just want to just go on a fucking trip for 90 minutes.
It's a good one to do it.
I think that one's pretty good.
It's a good one.
But then we have the Shaggy DA, one of the best
What a back-to-back
one
that
of the
is.
best ones I've ever seen
If
in
you're
my
if
life.
if you're setting up a driving or something, have a double feature to play, Shaggy DA and Cat in the Hat. That'll
I
keep
think-
the crowd
yeah.
nice and aroused.
So this is like a sequel to the Shaggy Dog, which I know about the Shaggy Dog because like that was remade like kind of in our era movies, like Tim
Yeah.
Allen.
Right, yeah.
I never saw that movie,
Yeah.
but like I just remember commercials for it.
Sure.
But they had like an old one in the 50s, and like after you saw this movie, you're like, oh, we got to see the Shaggy Dog. Got to see the Shaggy Dog. And we saw it, and it was like a black and white movie, and it wasn't what I was expecting.
Not as good.
It wasn't. Yeah, Shaggy DA is like 70s special effects, like literally using like whatever, like these wooden rods to like control dog paws,
Yeah.
and putting like a dude in a dog suit and having him run around and
Yeah.
roller skate,
Yep.
and like have him punch people with dog paws.
The scenes of the dog being chased by the police are definitely worth the watch alone.
It was pretty good. I did like that.
And, and the guy bringing the dog to the bar trying to get him to sing every time.
yeah, like
It's like,
this,
your dog can talk!
yeah. So it's just like
Because the
this
guy turns into a dog.
Yeah. This guy notices that the dog can talk, and then he's like, "Oh my god! Like we got to bring it to the bar." And like he brings him to the bar to like be like, "All right, I'm gonna bet you $20 this dog can sing." All right.
But then his dog is switched with the dog that can't sing.
Yeah. So like, and then the dog switches back, and the dog. You know, like dog can't talk after he starts betting that the dog can sing. So then it's
does
just
it,
like,
like-
that's funny. And then 5 minutes later, he does it again.
The same exact
The
thing.
exact same scene just happens again. And I'm just like, I
talk
can't wait for
again.
the third time. Like, and it's not even that it ramps up.
No,
it's not
it's
even
the-
that it ramps up. It's just the same damn
Yeah.
thing again.
It's like, oh, good, you can
Like,
talk
oh my
again.
god,
Let's try
you
it
can
again.
talk again. Let's
Yeah.
go back to the bar and I'll bet $50.
Same thing happens.
We have a couple here: Mac and Me, Gooby, and Munchie.
Yeah. Mac and Me and Gooby, Munchie I kind of forget about, but
I like Munchie.
I forget entirely about Munchie. What happened
Munchie
to
was
Munchie?
that little gremlin thing.
We watch a lot of Gremlin things, honestly.
Nah, you're
They
right.
kind of blend together.
I liked Food Fight.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a
Yeah,
good
the
classic
Wicker Man.
shitter.
The Wicker Man was very disappointing to me personally.
That was the Nick Cage one, right?
yeah,
Or is it
and
the
like,
bees put on him?
and we accidentally watched like the rated version. Apparently, the unrated version has the B scene.
Right.
I mean, like the one we watched was like cut down and
Yeah.
like edited. So then like the B scene just wasn't there, and the B scene was like the most iconic part where like
Yeah. Not the bees, not
yeah,
the bees.
it just wasn't a good movie.
Yeah.
That was just it.
There wasn't
Like,
a
they
whole lot
had-
else going on.
I think the problem is they had too much music. They had too much orchestral music in the background, and the problem is like that just made everything not scary. Like, the entire point was like to make this like unnerving feeling.
Yeah, because it was like
Like,
this weird
right-
island he was stuck on. or
Yeah, it was like a
something,
cult in
and-
something,
yeah, some
and like
culty
he was
thing.
trying to figure out like what the deal with the cult was.
Yeah.
And like the entire movie was just like I don't know, when you have like this sweeping orchestral backing for like a horror movie like that or a thriller movie, which is what it's more so. It's not supposed to be like scary. It's supposed to be unnerving until like the final part where like they sacrifice him.
Yeah.
But the entire movie just had too much like sweeping orchestral music that just made it like more whimsical than than unnerving.
Yeah,
you
as
know?
he's just exploring this weird island.
Yeah, well, he put on a bear suit and then he punched somebody.
Did he?
He did.
Okay, I believe you. I just don't remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we were more disappointed by the lack of the B scene in the cut we saw.
Yeah.
That was just unfortunate.
Yeah, pretty unmemorable, honestly.
Yeah, we saw Blood Orgy at Beaver Lake.
I remember the title.
I
couldn't
think
tell you
all we
much
did
what
was
happened.
that we saw the title. We were like, we
Yeah.
gotta see this.
That's a lot. That's a lot going on.
and then
in
it
that
just
title.
kept playing, and then I think we played like Mario Kart or something. Like while we were,
Well, it was-
while
okay,
it was
yeah,
going
I don't
on.
remember anything
And they were
about
like,
it.
"Welp, we
It was just kind of some.
we watched that. We watched that next to we watched this as like a double feature, like a drive-in double feature. We watched Blood Orgy at Beaver Lake and then Terror at Blood Fart Lake, and I forget what.
Not
the
as good of a
difference
double
was.
feature.
I think Blood Orgy at Beaver Lake was a little more sexy.
I couldn't tell you the difference between them if you gave me a full movie.
I
and
assume
took the title
Beaver
out.
Lake was a little sexier.
Yeah.
Terror at Blood Fart Lake,
Well, one's an orgy. One's a blood orgy, at least.
and this one was a terror.
Yeah, that's just scary.
Yeah, the Flintstones and the Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas.
Good ones.
We
good
watched
ones.
we watched the second one first.
Yeah.
And then the first one second.
As is tradition, kind of.
and
with any
Viva
sort
Rock
of,
Vegas was much better as like a bad movie, just
Yeah.
like watching it.
Yeah, if you're gonna watch one of them, Viva Rock Vegas. is the way to
I
go.
prefer Viva Rock Vegas.
Yeah.
Open Season, Yogi Bear, Stuart Little,
Stuart Little.
Stuart
2.
Little 2.
Yep, with the bird.
Chicken Little.
Chicken Little.
We usually come up with just like a dumb like rhyming thing, or like we think the dad's name is Buck McCluck, even though
It's not.
even though
It's not.
I don't think it is.
I mean, it might be
I think
Buck.
his name is Buck. I
It
think
might
it's
be.
Buck.
I don't even remember.
But it's just like we just like rhyming it. Where
Buck McCluck
is
sucks a
dra-
truck out of his duck. Sucks a duck in his truck. Till he
Yuck.
fucking yucks.
That was a pretty bad movie.
Yeah.
I mean it was fine.
I mean, I enjoyed it for what we made out of it.
It was pretty bad though.
Yeah.
Norm of the North.
Where's Grandpa? That's all I remember.
Well, the entire movie, like you're trying to find Grandpa. Norm is trying to find his grandpa. And then we're like, during the entire movie, we're like, oh yeah, the working title was Where's Grandpa?
And then right at the end,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it was like, we're like, oh, that's all the kids are asking in the audience. They're like, where's Grandpa?
Yeah.
Where's Grandpa? Where's Grandpa? And then we're like, oh, that's funny, in working title. And then at the very end, we weren't expecting. Norm hits us with the line, where's Grandpa? I'm like, holy shit.
we know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How'd we know?
That's crazy. Horse Sense.
That was funny. Yeah, I remember that
the
one.
entire thing behind Horse Sense was that it was a Disney Channel original movie.
Yep.
We were watching it, and halfway through, Eric was like, "What was the name of this movie again?" Throughout the entire rest of the movie, he was just guessing what
Chucking
the name
out
was.
just guesses
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, that's all I remember about that movie.
Yeah.
But then we watched a couple shows. We watched Paradise PD. We watched
I've only seen some episodes of that. You guys have seen the
Hoops.
whole... Hoops I've seen.
Yeah,
Hoops I know.
We just liked watching like really poor Netflix adult animated shows, which
It's like,
were
penis.
the entire thing with Hoops was just him going like,
Yeah.
my ass is bleeding.
Basically. Yeah.
And, like that's literally like his,
You fucking dumb kids.
yeah, like that's literally the entire show.
Yeah.
Troll 2.
Oh, you got me. You knew what I, what I
We
wanted.
saw Troll 2. We need to
Yeah.
watch Troll 1 and Troll 3.
Yeah.
There's 2 Troll 3s.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many Troll 2s are there? Just one?
One.
How many Troll 1s?
One.
How many Troll 4s?
There might be a couple Troll 4s. I'm not sure yet. But we can look
In the
into
works.
it. We can look into it.
Okay.
Godzilla vs. Megalon. That was Jet Jaguar.
Okay, I was gonna say I
Yeah.
have nothing to add to this.
We didn't
so-
watch the whole thing. We just fast forwarded to the end.
Okay.
Where like most of the Godzilla movies are like you'd expect it to be like, oh, this is gonna be like monsters fighting the entire
Yeah.
time.
It's
No.
like 80% just human talk.
Yeah, I've seen a couple Godzilla movies, and pretty much it's like 60% humans talking, 30% of the time like Godzilla's just kind of there, and it's just like, oh my god, that's Godzilla.
What's he gonna
and,
do?
And then at the end, they usually have like a big fight, and then that's usually in a big fight. I mean like 10 minutes, and that's usually it for Godzilla movies. At
Yeah.
least that's the experience I've had.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
probably cheaper, just
yeah.
quick fight throw
Yeah.
in there.
It's
Call it a
probably
Godzilla
easier
movie.
just to watch them on YouTube, as in just watch the fighting scenes
Yeah.
on YouTube, and then you're like, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, unless you're really into the
That was a
lore.
little corny. That was funny.
Unless you're
that
really
was,
into
that was
the
a good
lore,
time.
what's going on, why it's happening.
Yeah, and then we saw Cats and Dogs, which the only
Did we?
yeah we did.
Describe cats and dogs.
The only thing I remember from that movie is I mean I've watched that movie a lot as a kid.
Oh, was that the one where they could
yeah,
talk?
the
and they're like-
dogs? Yeah.
oh, and the cats.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back in.
If you remember anything about cats, there's another cat-related thing we've seen, but
well.
I think there's a
Was that Alec
The cat-
Baldwin dog? Was that?
he is a dog.
Well,
That
was he
guy-
a dog? But he's also a dog.
He's a dog.
He's a dog, but was he
He's
a dog?
Yeah, I think it was a dog.
Okay, I
I
think
think
it
it was
was
like the German Shepherd or
Yeah.
something that was like the alpha male or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
No, the main thing about that movie was that that was like the movie that Eric talked about. Like his sister took it out of like the VHS player. Like after, like his family sat down. Like imagine the Turney family sitting down all nice and cozy.
Yeah.
Like it's like this perfect
Shoulder to shoulder on the couch.
this perfect family shot of
Yeah.
like like Eric is just like
Yeah.
laying on his mom's lap
Just
or
the
something,
Simpsons
and
couch, just
yeah,
all
and
the-
like
all
his
that.
dad is just like just looks like very
Yeah.
prim and proper, just
Yeah.
like with his family, just like
Hits
you know,
the
like, yeah, and doing that.
Cats and dog
And then,
plays.
then he says his sister got up after the movie, took the VHS out of the player or like the DVD out of the player, and just threw it against the wall. And then he said, and then they were like, "Why did you do that?" And then he said, like, because she said, like, the movie was so good.
So
And
he just broke it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said that was one of the only two movies he's seen with his family. The other two was Racing Stripes.
How have we not seen Racing Stripes yet?
Because there's too much lore beyond that one. It's like because Eric says like he only remembers Racing Stripes for like, oh yeah, we saw Racing Stripes in the theater. And then we got Fazoli's afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, the only time we can go to Racing Stripes if we go to Fazoli's afterwards.
true.
And I think he said his dad didn't go to that one, so I think we have to see with his dad.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
We can rope him into that.
And then
We
we
can make that
saw
work.
Cats.
We sure did.
Yeah.
We sure did.
There's a certain guy.
That needs to be its own video,
There's a
honestly.
certain-
I don't know if we can squeeze
We're
that into
gonna
this.
have to rewatch Cats.
Yeah.
It's like the second time. Like you guys have seen it
At
twice.
least twice.
I've seen it 3 times.
maybe 3 times.
Because
yeah.
like
we saw
I
it,
saw it in the theater.
Right.
And then we saw it together.
and then we watched it while signing.
Yeah, we were signing some autographs.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right, we got to put on because like we were going through like 1,000 500 or something.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, we got to put something on in the background. So we put on Cats because
Yeah.
like Dominic was there.
Yeah,
Dominic hadn't seen it yet.
yeah.
And we were like, all right,
You gotta
this-
watch this.
This is the perfect signing movie. So we got a fourth coming up soon.
Yeah.
So we gotta do that one.
Yeah.
Maybe when we're going to like Philadelphia,
On the
we
plane.
can play it on the plane. And just kind of get more up to date.
Yeah.
Um,
Get our references back. Get all the songs down.
Yeah, there was
A lot of songs.
the Incredible Mr. Limpet,
That was the old one.
the
with
horny fish movie.
Horny fish, yeah.
Horny fish movie.
We wanted to become a fish or something.
Yeah, he wanted to become a fish, but
Fish.
yeah, he fell in love with a fish.
Yeah.
And then his human wife saw him as a fish.
Didn't he
And
also, like,
then he was
stop
like,
the
I'm
Nazi-
happy now.
Didn't he
And-
also like stop the Nazis? As
Yeah.
A fish? Okay.
Yeah, he stopped. He stopped World War II.
Yeah, the
as
fish.
a fish.
As a fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Enough
there
said,
was
yeah.
Freddy Got Fingered. Which
Fish.
that was just like that was an experience. That movie is surreal. That movie is surreal. I like. Look at my hooves. Look at my hooves. Clippity clop, clippity clop. Look
Yeah.
at my hooves. Look at
Yeah.
my hooves. That movie is interesting because like I don't know if it was like a satire or not. Because like Tom Green, like that was like his style of humor of just being kind of like loud and crazy and just
Yeah.
doing weird, disgusting things in front of the camera. And
There's
this
some
movie was pretty much
disgusting
that.
things. Yeah.
But like the way it was
Jerks
like
off a horse.
yeah.
Twice.
I think like that movie was just really bizarre because like
Yeah.
watching it, you just get this sense of like they know and they're making
They
fun
have
of like
to.
they're making fun of like the American Pies or like the
Yeah.
scary movies or whatever, like those like kind of gross out PG-13 R-rated comedies for like stoners or something.
Yeah.
Like it feels like this movie is aware of that and they're trying to like be like, oh, you know, Hollywood will fund anything, so I'm just gonna do the stupidest thing possible.
Yeah.
And like there's some actual like humorous parts in the movie.
Yeah.
Like there's some actual
We
like
still make jokes about some of them.
yeah, like there's some like whatever, like, you know, he just like I don't know, he has like diamonds at the end
The
for some
jewels.
reason. Yeah, he's just like, I got you jewels. I got you jewels.
Make your
or
daddy
something.
proud.
Yeah, it's just
Make
like
you proud, daddy.
there's like legitimate scenes of like humor in the movie
Yeah.
where it's just like it feels more than just genuine dumb.
It's definitely
it feels
odd,
like
but-
it feels like they actually thought through like a joke and they were like, oh, that's actually kind of funny, but it's just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like people have brought up, they're just like, I don't know if the people who made this movie are smart enough to do this, and they might have just like fell into this being like this like satirical masterpiece
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I don't know. I think that's what makes the movie so elusive is the fact that like nobody knows if it's aware or not, if it's an actual satire.
I'll
or
give it the
not.
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, because like when we watched it, I'm like, this might have been the stupidest or most ingenious movie I've ever seen, and I don't
Both.
know.
Yeah, both.
I think to wrap up everything, the 50 Shades trilogy.
Just the boys' movie night. you
Yeah,
know?
we were just like the boys all get together and we watch all three of the movies.
Yep.
3 days in a row.
Yep.
That was like
Underwhelming.
because like the story was bad.
I watched it for the plot.
The story wasn't good. The first movie ends with like them breaking up,
Yeah.
and I just
The
felt
first
like
movie is he wants someone to doink with in excessive ways,
of course.
and she's like, "I'll try it out," and they do a little bit of that, but then it goes too far.
Well, I mean, she like
And then-
likes it for a bit, but
Yeah.
then he goes too far with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And he's also not very like savvy with like just emotions and
Right,
stuff
and
like
he
that.
just- he's
And
kinda-
she's like, I'm done, I'm out, and that's
Yeah.
where the movie ends. Like the movie just ends there.
Yeah, she gets
And
in
it's
the
just
elevator
like,
to leave, and
okay, I guess the entire point of the movie is that like she's a lot shy and just
Yeah.
kind of like not like
then as expressive, I guess.
I guess at the beginning, and then at the end she like
Confident.
she's confident with just being like, no,
Yeah.
I'm no.
I'm my own person now. I don't
and I'm
need
like,
this.
okay, fair enough. Like,
But then
that's
in number
fair
2,
enough. You know,
15 minutes in, they're back together.
yeah, I'd say even 10.
Yeah.
Like it's just like all it takes is like a dinner.
Yeah.
A dinner date. Like Christian Grey has a dinner date with her.
And they signed like a thing that's like, all right, we won't do the dumb. We won't go that far anymore.
Yeah.
We won't pass that line.
And what happens in number 2?
Is that the one where he gets kidnapped?
No, that's 3.
Okay.
So what happened in number 2?
They do stuff. They do.
Yeah, I don't know what happens in number 2.
Yeah.
And then number 3, she
Wedding.
gets kidnapped and they get married.
Yeah.
And they have a kid.
Yeah. There's not much else besides a couple doink scenes.
Yeah, the ranking is 1, 3, 2.
pretty easily, yeah.
Yeah.
But Morbius is still
Or it's pretty good.
it's pretty good.